Happy New Year, everybody. Dan Illman here, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for New Year's Day 2023. It's Sunday's 8th at Oaklawn Park, and these newly turned 3-year-olds are taking their first baby steps, perhaps on the road to the Kentucky Derby. It's the first leg of the Triple Crown Prep Series at Oaklawn Park. The $250,000 Smarty Jones Stakes. Let's take a look at this field. They're going a mile. Remember, there's a short stretch at Oaklawn at the mile distance. We throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector, one of the fastest horses in the race, not only on speed figures, is also likely to be fastest at the pace call. That's the 8 Victory Formation, unbeaten from 2 sprint starts, has shown good sprint speed, and I would think that Flavien Prat's going to try to put this horse on the lead. While the number 3, Communication Memo, has shown some speed in his most recent start at Oaklawn Park, prompting a quick pace in a maiden race. I just don't think he has the early gas that the 8 Victory Formation has. I'm expecting Victory Formation to make the lead, maybe the 2. How did he do that? We'll show a little bit of speed stretching out to a route for the first time. The 1 in here is CJ Storm. This horse scored against fellow Indiana breds 2 starts back at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, going a 2-turn mile. Cut all the way back to 5.5 furlongs last time out, and a muddy track, and a first race against Open Company in the Advent Stakes. He was dismissed at a big price. He's tried to stay up close to the pace, and he faltered badly. I do think stretching back out in distance will help this horse, but there are a lot of class concerns. He has to prove his mettle against tough open foes. The 2 is, how did he do that? And we're going to see how far he wants to go. He's a son of good magic. The dam was a stakes place sprinter. How did he do that? Did earn a stakes victory 2 starts back at Zia Park. That race was going 3/4 of a mile. He raced in the Advent. Now he caught the sloppy track, and he hasn't run well now in 2 consecutive sloppy track appearances. Maybe he's just not that comfortable on that surface. If the track is fast, he should show some tactical speed. I'm not completely convinced that he's going to do his best running at middle distances just yet. Communication Memo is the number 3, and let's take a look at his most recent start. This is his maiden win for Steve Asmussen, going the 2-turn mile at Oaklawn Park. He did some very good things in this race. This pace was very solid. Communication Memo was prompting 3 wide. He bumped with an inner foe while trying to herd that horse into the pocket late on the backstretch and entering the second turn, and he was game to get away to win by 4 lengths with a very competitive Beyer speed figure. This horse was beaten, however, sprinting 3 starts back by Victory Formation. My feeling is that he's just an improved horse, and that getting around 2 turns has helped this horse achieve his potential. He's still a little bit green. He was wandering out in the stretch of his most recent run, but that fig puts him in the mix. The 4 is Western Gent for trainer D. Wayne Lucas. This horse was a $75,000 maiden claiming winner at Saratoga. He is a very hardy type. Heck, he ran 4 times during the boutique meet at the Spa. There have a lot of questions about class, however. He has already raced in 3 stakes races. He was well beaten in all of them. He might just need a little bit of class relief to do his best running. 10 Days Later is a horse that doesn't have a lot of early speed, and maybe he'll be up against it as he tries to cut back to a mile after a mile and a 16th performance in a first-level allowance race. That was a good spot at Churchill Downs. The 4th place horse came back to win a 2 life at Oaklawn with an 82 Beyer speed figure. 10 days later, fell back in the early portion of the race and kept grinding on in the stretch. He was gaining late. He finished 3rd with an okay gallop out. His Beyer speed figures continue to improve. This is the kind of horse that's going to be dependent on pace. If the pace is fast, if Victory Formation stretches out for the first time, is unable to rate and goes too quick, or if someone goes with that horse, it could set things up for 10 Days Later, who looks like he has a bit of upside potential still. Dennington is next. He last raced in the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club, faced a nice and promising runner from the Brad Cox barn named Instant Coffee. Dennington, like 10 Days Later, was a maiden winner 2 starts back at Churchill Downs. He's another horse that doesn't have a ton of early speed, might have more tactical speed than 10 Days Later. Of the 2 McPeak trained horses right now, I prefer 10 Days Later. Angel of Empire is up next. Let's watch his last race. This is a 2-time winner. He scored in both dirt appearances. The only loss came in a turf race at Kentucky Downs. This is a decent performance for trainer Brad Cox at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. It's only a 2 life allowance, but I like the way he swept past the field and was able to get it done with a 70 Beyer speed figure, far and away the best Beyer of his career. I think he has more upside in the tank. He's going to have to show that upside as he faces faster rivals, but Brad Cox, you rarely get him at a big price in these major races. He should offer value with Angel of Empire. And Victory Formation, a son of Taprit out of a and a half-brother to Bellarmine. Grade 1 placed routing on the turf. This is an all-distance pedigree. Victory formation has thus far looked good in both sprint starts. Last time out at Churchill Downs, battling for the lead. Down on the inside, it looked like not only was he going to be beaten, but it looked like he was going to finish third, and he just refused to lose. Very game, digging down deep along the rail, getting back up to win by a neck and earning a super 85 Beyer speed figure. Very competitive with these kind of horses. He's expected to make the lead according to Timeform US. With his distance pedigree, with his pace and Beyer speed figure advantage, he's certainly the horse to beat. Before we get to my top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for the Smarty Jones Stakes. I do respect victory formation in here. I do respect the 3. Communication Memo. I'm hoping for a hot pace and maybe a little bit of a price for the 10 days later, who I know will get the distance. The distance might actually be a little bit short for him. I do like how he's been rallying in his last couple of races, and I think he'll be making up ground in the stretch. I went 5, 8, 3, and 6 for the Smarty Jones, the first DRF race of the day for 2023. Good luck.